Hello, this is Wesley Brown from the ccman.com. I'd like to thank you guys for viewing the video. If you bought the book Broken, I'd like to thank you guys for buying the book. You know, the money's going towards a nonprofit which teaches the youth how to be entrepreneurs. So you are investing into the youth, you're investing into the future. I thank you for that. If you haven't bought it, I encourage you to buy it. You know, it's about codependency. It helps you kind of see what codependency is. If you feel like you are codependency, it helps you, it works you through the process of becoming not a codependent person. It has exercises in there, poems in there. It has, you know, my life experiences, and it has research. So I put a lot into the book to kind of, you know, give as much as possible. Yes. So for this video, I'd like to go a little bit on the topic of feeling used. As codependents, we put ourselves in a situation where at the end of the situation, we leave feeling used. But, you know, what does that feeling of being used come from? You know, we give too much to people who wouldn't give to us or wouldn't give as much to us. So these people see that we're giving and we're giving and we're giving, and they see it as an opportunity to take. And, you know, we want to help, we want to give. You know, that's who we are in general. We're giving, caring people. But however, we give too much to the point where people see it as an opportunity to use us for, you know, what we have. And, you know, with me, I've been in a lot of situations where, you know, I've been used. And I mean, I don't know I'm being used up front, but, you know, towards the middle of the situation and the end of the situation where things aren't quite balancing out, I see that I'm being used. In one of my relationships, I was dealing with, you know, a woman who was using me for a place to live. It happened right after I kind of went through my therapy sessions, right after, you know, I got to a relationship with her, and, you know, I saw, you know, she had some issues that she needed help working out. So I took it to the therapist that I went to. And, you know, instead of kind of them helping her with her issue, the therapy session was mostly about me. I wasn't there. My female at the time, she came back and told me what was going on. So during the therapy sessions, they were kind of telling her my business. They were trying to get more in depth on who I was, because they felt like, you know, during my session with them, I wasn't open, or I was lying about things. So they're trying to get the truth out of her about me. So when she told them her situation and how, you know, she was staying with me, they kind of convinced her that, you know, that she should use me for my place and for my things, and that she should not be with me because I'm not a good person, and that, you know, I'm very secretive, and I'm not being open about who I am. So she should be careful about being with me, and she should just use me, you know, for my house and, you know, for the things I do for her until she was able to get her own place and to move out. And then when she moved out, to break up with me and kind of continue her life without me. So that's an example of, you know, how people see that you provide and that you're giving, and they take that as an opportunity to take advantage of you or deceive you, to get things out of you, and then once they got what they want, they're gone. So I mean, that whole situation, she came back and told me about what happened. From that point on, I cut all ties with those people. But at the same time, I'm watching her now, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, are you gonna take their advice and use me? And then when you have the money to leave, you're going to cut off everything altogether. Because her whole purpose of being there was to save money so that she can get her own place, because she had lost her place because she lost her job and she couldn't afford the rent. So I allowed her to come stay with me, so save up money so that she can, you know, have enough money to get her own place. Our relationship had went south because she cheated. I broke it off with her and I kicked her out. So even if, you know, her goal was to use me until she found a place, our relationship didn't even make it that far. my advice on a situation where you feel like you're being used. If you feel like you're being used, you're probably being used. And a way to kind of get the person, from around you, or to see that person is using you, start saying no, and start seeing how they act when you start saying no to them. If they start acting out, or if they stop talking to you, then you know that they were just using you. This is Wesley Brown from theccman.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Mr. Wesley Brown. If you haven't bought the book, I encourage you to buy the book. There's a lot of stories in there, going deep into, my codependency, my experiences, some health tips, some poetry. Again, like, share, subscribe if you like the video. I will see you next time.